Hey everybody, welcome back. I wanted to try something just a little bit different. It's the holidays and I'm over kind of doing all the video editing. So this is going to be straightforward, off the cuff, minimal if any editing. And what I wanted to talk to you about today is entrepreneurial loneliness. And it's a thing that I think is affecting a lot of people as the economy has moved towards more and more people working from home. Entrepreneurs, consultants, freelancers, there's a sense, an aspect of doing that creates this sense of isolation and loneliness. A lot of people are identifying with that and sharing that feeling with me. When I had a long career in the corporate world, the global agency world, working with large groups of people in large environments with a lot of social interaction. And when I went off on my own and started my own consultancy and my own agency, one of the things that I noticed very quickly was that I developed this sense of isolation, this sense of loneliness that was pretty intense, and I had to find ways to combat that. And I wanted to share some of the things that I've done, some of the things that I've learned from other people or have heard from other people of ways that you can combat that level of entrepreneurial loneliness. So I wanted to share some of those things with you today. Number one is you got to talk to people. As the digital world has created this level of isolation, even though digital has brought us the internet and everything else, it's told us that it's created this level of connectedness, when in a lot of ways it's created this huge level of disconnectedness. We talk to people over social and text and email, but we're not talking to each other as much anymore. And so I really highly encourage people to pick up the phone, an old coworker and a network connection, someone you met at a conference, and just say hi, schedule a call and say, I'd like to learn more about what it is that you do, or I'd like to learn more about your personal life, or the history of your career, or how you got to where you are. There's any number of ways that you can kind of jumpstart a conversation like that. So I highly recommend, trying to get over any kind of social anxiety that you have, and it seems like there's a lot more of that around in the world than there used to be, and getting someone on the phone and talking to people rather than just texting, rather than just emailing, because that's how you build up those personal relationships, which are deeper and more meaningful and can really help you break out of that isolation. Number two is use video conferencing. I am a huge devotee of video conferencing. I have clients all over the world, and most of my clients are not within my geographical area. So I do just about all of my meetings, presentations, pitches, proposals, conversations, reviews of work on video conference. And I also do mastermind groups on video conference. I have, networking meetings with people that I partner with or work projects with, and we do that on video conference. Seeing someone face to face is such a great way to break out of that sense of isolation, even better than the phone. So I highly recommend, if you're not using video conferencing heavily, just use it more and more and more. And I pay for a premium Zoom account, so I can have more than the usual 2 or 3 people on a call at one time. And so I get my own particular number, my meeting room number, and I can have multiple meeting rooms and have different preferences for those rooms. So and it's relatively inexpensive and money well spent. So if you don't have a premium account, do that. So number 3. Networking. People use LinkedIn and they gather network connections, but they don't really connect with them as deeply as they could. And so I recommend that people choose, 5 or 6 or a dozen network connections on LinkedIn that you have that you'd like to get to know a little more deeply, and shoot them a direct message and say, I'd love to have a call, I'd love to have a video conference, I'd love to learn more about what you do. Use LinkedIn, use conferences, use the people that you meet in projects that you work on, and really network, because networking is one of the ways that's going to really kind of break you out of that just working in your home office kind of isolation. Number 4 is go to conferences. I go to a lot of conferences. I just came back from the Youpreneur conference in London. and I'm going to Social Media Marketing World for the first time in the beginning part of the next year. I'd love to see any of you there, meet any of my viewers if you're going to go there to San Diego. Going to conferences is a great way to break out of that isolation. You meet people in person. You can meet people that you admire, that you've been following for a long time. People, who might know about you will come and, you can meet them face to face for the first time. It's a great way to establish deeper personal relationships and then continue those and keep them up after the conference through phone calls, through video conferences to break you out of that isolation. Number 5 is go to coffee. And this is for people, who live in my geographical area. I'll just call up, network partners or partners I work project with or possible clients and say, hey, I'd love to learn more about what you do. Let me take you to coffee. It's low stress, it's low commitment time-wise, and it's a way to get out of your office, but also be productive because all of those sorts of P2P meetings will come back to benefit you in the long run. Number 6 is get a mentor. And I've done videos on finding a mentor. And you can't just ask someone to be your mentor who you admire. You have to give before you receive. And so watch my video on that if you don't know about kind of how to go about that. But establishing a mentee-mentor relationship, or you can mentor other people. That's, you can go about it that way too if you can help other folks. I mentor a couple folks. And that is another way to build that professional network, but also break out of your isolation. Another way of doing that is number 7, which is hire a coach, and that's a paid relationship, obviously. But again, they can help you with your goals and bring in a level of accountability to what it is you're trying to accomplish. You can bask in their expertise. They can give you resources and ideas that you haven't thought of, but that relationship, that deeper relationship, which will take place over phone and video conference again, will break you out of that isolation and be really helpful for your career. Number 8 is get the hell out of your office because, working at home is great. And I'm, very type A kind of workaholic, kind of heads down, getting stuff done all day type person. But I have to force myself to get out of my office, get out, go to the library, go to an event, go to a museum, go to a lecture, have coffee with people. Getting out is how you will come in contact with more people in the world, and it, again, breaks down that sense of loneliness. Number 9 is to join some professional organizations. So, for creative people, there's like the American Institute of Graphic Arts or, any number of, professional organizations across, gigantic range of categories exist out there. Join them, make friendships and relationships within those. Join a committee, offer, your time, volunteer on putting together one of the professional organization's events. All sorts of ways to get out of yourself and out of your office and, improve your network and also, make headroads in your career. Great ways to combat that isolation of loneliness by joining professional organizations. And number 10, finally, is to join a mastermind. And I kept this to the end because this is the one that really helped me probably the most when I went from, working on those big corporate environments to being on my own. I very quickly, recognized that it was a shock to my system, and I joined the Youpreneur community. It was like, it's a paid thing, so you got to pay, a yearly fee. But overnight, I went from having very few, interactions and network connections that, revolved around my new agency and my new, personal branding focus, to having 400 people who were incredible experts in their fields, everything from coaching to digital media to huge range of categories. And I got very involved in the forums on the community's website. I went to their events. I got people on the phone. I started interviewing people. I started offering up my services to them for free to make more relationships, and got very integrated in that community very quickly. And that broke down that level of isolation for me like almost immediately. It is year on year the best money that I think that I spend, because it's amazing in terms of a network. It's amazing in terms of learning and up-leveling your goals and your accountability. But more than anything, it really breaks apart and breaks down that sense of loneliness and isolation that can come and is the bane of the existence of any freelancer or entrepreneur or creative professional, any work-at-home person who isn't in a larger social environment when they're doing their work. So I hope you like this video. Like I said, totally different format. Let me know in the comments if you did. It was totally fun to do, and if I can help you with your professional creative career or your company, your brand strategy, your brand design, please reach out to me at philipvandeusen.com. Let me know what I can do to help, and make sure to hit subscribe below so you can see my videos when they come out, and make sure to hit that notifications button so you can get an email when I post something new, and you'll be alerted and you can come check it out. And so with that, thanks again for watching. As always, I really appreciate your viewership, and have a great day, and I'll see you next time.